Hey guys, what's going on? Jeff here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about EOS, and we're also going to be talking about Ethereum, because EOS in the next couple of days, on June the 2nd, 2018, is going to be launching its own mainnet. It's kind of interesting to think about, but EOS is actually still an ERC20 token. It's an $11 billion ICO that has risen up from way down here in like the 20s and 30s over the last year, and is now in the top 5 of cryptocurrencies as far as market valuation. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the price action of Ethereum and EOS. We're going to be doing some technical analysis on both of these projects, and we're also going to be talking about the potential for EOS to usurp Ethereum, whether or not that's going to happen. We're going to be talking about the trade-offs between the two, and really I just want to break down the kind of little battle that's going to probably be ensuing between them in the next couple of months and weeks and months, because I think Ethereum is certainly going to be put through its paces as EOS comes online. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, I definitely want you to drop a like and hit that subscribe button, because I make cryptocurrency videos every single day just like this. So let's get right into it. Ethereum is currently trading right around $540. Its market capitalization is still significantly higher than EOS. It's sitting right around $53.5 billion. EOS is still an ICO, though, and is still worth $11 billion, which is quite a substantial market capitalization for an ICO. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think an ICO has ever been worth $11 billion in market capitalization. I'm pretty sure I'm correct on that. EOS is currently trading around $12.50, and its volume is significantly higher than all of the other cryptocurrencies around it, sitting around $1.5 billion. And as we can also see over here in the change over the 24 hours and on these 7-day price graphs, Ethereum has kind of not been doing so great over the last couple of days. It's down 6% today, while Bitcoin is down 1/10 of that, and EOS is only down 0.5%, which is you could almost call that being up compared to where we are today. It's doing pretty well today compared to the rest of the market, as is Bitcoin actually. But anyway, with enough rambling, I also want to talk about the global charts here. I want to go down here and I want to show you something in the market capitalization of cryptocurrencies. As we can see, Ethereum, this line right here, right there, that represents Ethereum. And as we can see in this little pop-up right here, we can see the percentage market dominance for Ethereum. For a while here, Ethereum was gaining in market dominance, as Bitcoin was also. It's been moving up here 15, 16, 17, and it capped out up here around 18.5%, as we can see, 18.5%. And over the last couple of days, in the second half of May here, it's been losing some of that market dominance. And I can't say for certain that that's directly going into EOS, but I'd be willing to bet at least some of that valuation is certainly going into EOS, as EOS's mainnet has been, as EOS mainnet launch has been approaching. People have been looking out for this launch for a very long time. It's been very well known that EOS has been going to be launching mainnet at the beginning of June 2018. Ever since its inception and ever since the ICO began, there's been a lot of hype because it's been an ICO for quite a long time. So I think there's going to be definitely a lot of price action relating to this mainnet launch. As we can see here on their EOS's website, EOS tokens will become frozen on the Ethereum blockchain on June the 2nd, 2018, and the mainnet will launch shortly thereafter. So guys, what that means is that you're going to have to register your EOS tokens. Now, there are certain ways you can do that. You can put your Ethereum wallet address in here and go through the steps that they're talking about here, or you can watch my video where I show you how to do it very, very quickly and easily with Binance. There will be a link to that video right up here. But anyway, let's get into the technical analysis. I want to talk about Ethereum first, because Ethereum is the top dog, and the protocol that is the defendant in this little war that we're having here. Something interesting with Ethereum is that Ethereum has been on a nice little bull run over its Bitcoin valuation ever since the very beginning of April. As we could see, it was bottoming out here around 5.5 million Satoshis, and it's moved all the way up here to 8.5 million Satoshis. That's quite a good improvement. That's quite the little bull run. If you guys traded that, good on you. But now it's kind of been correcting over here on the last half of May, as EOS mainnet approaches. I can't prove this, but I definitely believe that a lot of this sell side action right here has to do with Bitcoin falling off, and also has to do with the EOS mainnet launch approaching. What I'm looking for Ethereum to do is probably get support on one of these long-term moving averages. Each one of these is a 50, 100-day, or a 200-day moving average. We have the 100-day moving average coming down right here. The 50-day is moving up, and this red one down here is the 200-day moving average. Since all of these are very close and every single one of them is a level of support, technically I'm looking for this to be a level of support for Ethereum, and for Ethereum to bounce somewhere in this range in between 7 and 7.5 million Satoshis, and hopefully continue a bull run, or at least trade flat for a little while. I also want to look at the Ethereum over US dollar valuation, because there is some important stuff to see here. As we can see, I have a Fibonacci thing there. I'll show you that in a second. But something interesting on Ethereum is that it formed a head and shoulders pattern, which is not exactly that great for it. It's kind of a weird head and shoulders pattern, but I think you could call it a head and shoulders pattern. We have a shoulder right over here, and we have a shoulder right over here, and we have our head. That's not really a true head and shoulders pattern, unless you want to call that the right shoulder. But it it's close enough that I think a lot of people are trading around, and I think it has definitely has significance in the market. Another interesting thing is that there was a consolidation pattern here, and we broke bullish out of it, and we got resistance up here around $840. And then we've been tapering off. We formed another consolidation pattern and broke bearish out of it. Consolidation patterns are normally continuation patterns, so this isn't anything surprising, but that's exactly what happened. We broke out of it. I was hoping that we would bottom out here around the $600 level, as that's historically been a level of support. As we can see back here, support right here and support right here. And back here, there's a little bit of support also. Something else to look at on the Ethereum over US dollar chart is that there is a long-term uptrend that we can see back here that is hopefully going to provide us support. As we can see, we're bottoming out on it right here. This was the line that drew the flat top consolidation pattern back here in 2017 that we broke out of and ran all the way up to $1,400 on. And it looks like we're going to get some support on it right here, as we can see. Anyway, now let's move on to EOS, and I want to talk about the EOS market because EOS has been doing pretty well over the last couple of months as well, although it hasn't really fallen off in the last couple of weeks as Ethereum has. It hasn't fallen off in exactly the same time. It's also fallen off, but it seems to be bottoming out right here. We'll talk about that. An interesting thing with EOS is that it's been on a very nice uptrend. It's formed this long-term uptrend, as we can see, kind of similar to Ethereum, but Ethereum actually broke its long-term uptrend. EOS hasn't. As we can see, Ethereum broke its long-term uptrend right here. EOS has not done that. It's managed to hold and maintain this long-term uptrend very, very well. Starting back here in late 2017, we formed it back here, and we had a very nice touch on it right here. I called that bottom, and we did absolutely moon. I rode that, and I made a lot of money on that trade. I hope you guys did also, because that was a really good trade. I think I sold right before this double top, actually, so I made like a 100% gain on that. Something I want to talk about also is that the 50-day and the 100-day and the 200-day moving average are stacked in a very bullish way. As we can see, when the 50-day moving average is on top of the 100-day moving average and the 100-day moving average is on top of the 200-day moving average, that's a pretty bullish sign for a cryptocurrency because it means that the cryptocurrency is continuing to move upwards, it's continuing to be bullish on every single moving average. We can see this happening in Bitcoin. If we come back to the Bitcoin chart and we look back historically on the Bitcoin chart, this is what the moving averages on Bitcoin look like for literally all of 2017, as 2017 was a very bullish year. So we can see the 50-day moving average was above the 100-day, which was above the 200-day. If we come back here, that's how the moving averages were for a very long time. And those moving averages provide a very strong level of support in a bull market and continue and help to continue that bull market. So that's what's forming with EOS. That wasn't like that a couple of months ago because the 50-day crashed below the 100-day, but now it's back above it, and we actually got support on the 100-day after rejecting from the 250,000 Satoshi level. We got support down here around the 140,000 Satoshi level. Now, I have two little vertical lines right here. This represents, this one right here, the leftmost one, represents the day that you will need to register your EOS tokens by so that you can actually continue to use your EOS tokens. There are a lot of people that haven't done that. I was looking at something a couple of days ago that said like half of the people that are holding EOS have not, or half of the EOS has not been registered yet. If you haven't registered your EOS, I would most certainly get on that. There's a video in the description to show you how to do that pretty easily. And this rightmost vertical line represents the day that the mainnet will be launching. So as we can see, it's very, very close. EOS did get support on this 50-day moving average, which I'm very, very excited for. Now, I want to talk about EOS and Ethereum so far as the actual competition between the blockchains. The first thing I want to talk about is that EOS is a lot younger than Ethereum. Ethereum was launched in 2015, and it only knew about some of the of course, Ethereum being launched in 2015 only knew about the problems that were known about in 2015, right? When you build something, when you build the foundation of a cryptocurrencies, it's kind of hard to go back and change the foundation of cryptocurrencies without adding layer 2 solutions. We see this with Bitcoin, where it's rather difficult to change the actual mining algorithms. Well, it's very difficult to change the mining algorithm, but it's very difficult to change some of the core architecture of the actual protocol, which is why we're seeing scaling solutions, layer 2 scaling solutions on Bitcoin like Lightning Network. And on Ethereum, we're seeing things like plasma and sharding. We're seeing a lot of different things going on Ethereum, but it's very hard to actually change the core foundation of a blockchain, which is why EOS is doing so well, because EOS is only a little over a year old and only planned in the last 2 years. So EOS has knowledge of a lot more of the problems and a lot more of the scaling issues that Ethereum is currently going through, and was able to build those solutions, or what hopefully will be solutions, into its very foundation. So EOS has a natural leg up in that sense over Ethereum. Now, one place that Ethereum does have a leg up is that Ethereum has the very influential person named Vitalik Buterin. I'm sure you've heard of him before. I think he has over 1 million followers on Twitter. Let's look him up real quick. Vitalik Buterin. Vitalik not giving away EOS, not giving away anything Buterin. Vitalik Buterin is a very influential person in the community. He's a very smart man. So that's definitely something that is very helpful for the Ethereum network, is that you have a very big guy right here representing the network. The same thing is true with Charlie Lee over at Litecoin. So Ethereum certainly has that going for it, but EOS, as far as the technicals, has a lot more potential to actually, it has a lot more upside potentially in its utility. EOS is talking about doing millions of transactions per second. It's talking about having a 500 millisecond latency. I don't have the article up. I thought I did. It's talking about having a lot of things going on that Ethereum is talking about, as well, adding to a lot of those things and making those things a lot more, improving on those things a lot over the Ethereum network. It's talking about doing more throughput. It's talking about doing that throughput faster. It's talking about doing the delegation. It's talking about doing delegated proof of stake in different ways. Ethereum is still running proof of work. It hasn't even moved to proof of stake yet. So EOS, as far as the actual development of the project, is quite far ahead of Ethereum. So we're going to see what's going to happen. Ethereum is, I mean, 3 years is a long time in the cryptocurrency space. Bitcoin is only a decade old. Ethereum's 3 years old. It was released in mid-2015. EOS's mainnet hasn't even launched yet. So we're going to see what happens with Ethereum this year. I think Ethereum is definitely going to be put through its paces by EOS and other protocol coins such as Neo and such as Icon. There's definitely going to be a protocol war in the 2018. I think 2018 is going to be the year of the protocol wars. It's going to be the year of the regulation, of the regulatory clarity, hopefully, because that'll help bring about the bull market. But anyway, guys, I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Tell me if you think EOS will ever end up actually usurping Ethereum. Ethereum might not hold this #2 position forever. I remember for like 2 minutes, Bitcoin Cash passed it a while back. That was pretty interesting to watch. So Ethereum isn't necessarily invincible. It's not necessarily always going to hold that #2 position. Tell me what you guys think. Are you guys investing in EOS? What are you doing? Have you registered your EOS tokens yet? If you haven't, make sure you go click on my video and you can find out how to do that. But anyway, guys, that's what I want to talk about in today's video. Like I said, tell me what you think in the comments down below. I want to thank each and every single one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.